Hi, my name is Bill East. Some of you know me as the author of the Construction Operations Building Information Exchange, or COBie standard. Among other jobs, I chair the Building Smart International's COBie Certified Professional Subcommittee. Today I'm going to introduce you to a proposed Building Smart International project called COBie 2.5. This picture, taken about a decade ago, shows a typical set of traditional construction handover data. Even though the information contained in the pictures produced during the design and construction phases, the deliverables shown here are created after the project is over by those who've never visited the site. In almost every case, the information is delivered years after the owner begins building operations. Everyone who has ever developed or tried to use such documentation agrees that the construction handover process is broken. The only question is who will do something about it. Given the opportunity by a colleague at NASA, I answered the call in late 2006. COBie was first published in 2007. Implementation of COBie and over 30 commercial software systems began in 2008. Today, a few short years later, COBie is the de facto worldwide standard for open building handover. However, a few things have not gone according to plan. For example, a recent UK academic study found that while 50% of projects surveyed required COBie, 100% of projects still required paper handover documents. So instead of decreasing construction handover costs, lack of COBie knowledge has increased costs on half of the projects in the UK. Why? Because owners don't know how to motivate changes in contractors and subcontractor process. They also don't know what to do with COBie even when they get it. Look at the picture on the bottom right of this slide. Do you see the top left box with the disks in it? That's the owner's as-built information database. I call it shoebox formatted BIM. From COBie's uneven adoption, we can see that making technology for the construction industry is not all that hard. Getting the industry to use that technology as it was intended, now that's hard. Throughout COBie's development, I have worked with Building Smart International to the extent I was able. The proposal you're reviewing has a more complete history, but today I would like just to point out this specific screenshot of Building Smart's Model View Definition database taken in June 2020. There are two entries in this official MVD database for COBie. The first entry is for COBie version 2.26. This was created under contract by members of Building Smart's Model Support Group. If there's any confusion on this topic, one only needs to look at the peer-reviewed American Society of Civil Engineers Journal of Computing and Civil Engineering paper entitled Facility Management Handover View, where I am listed as the first author. The second MVD database entry is for the current U.S. COBie standard version 2.4. This version has been identified as a draft BSI MVD since its U.S. publication in 2015. It is worth noting that these two COBie MVDs comprise 20% of the total number of the model views published on Building Smart's official MVD database. Because there is no formal BSI COBie project, COBie implementation has not been accomplished by referencing BSI standards, but by referencing the 2015 U.S. National BIM standard. Without an authoritative voice from BSI, COBie users have turned to the person in the office who knows one more thing than they know, or worse yet, to the internet for answers. This slide provides some examples of the diversity of tone of what passes for COBie knowledge in the blogosphere. In my view, Building Smart International is the key to rebooting the COBie conversation. Now is the time for BSI to do this because of its ongoing COBie certified professional efforts, the upcoming chapter-based COBie Foundation exams, the establishment of a working BSI chapter, the updated technical roadmap, and the ongoing international adoption of COBie. To see how our industry can begin to unify the COBie conversation under Building Smart International, let me outline the objectives for our COBie 2.5 project. The objectives of the proposed COBie 2.5 project are to provide an updated model view definition that meets the 2020 BSI technical roadmap requirements, to apply the lessons learned from COBie use and misuse, to support commercial software testing, particularly in the construction administration and commissioning domains where most COBie data is created, to simplify the presentation of COBie data, and to provide a unified international COBie message. Now I'll briefly outline the work to be included in our COBie 2.5 project. The project to reboot COBie under BSI leadership will require 4 work packages. The first is specification. This task will translate the COBie MVD to that required by the current BSI technical roadmap. This effort will also apply lessons learned from using COBie 2.4 over the last 5 years. Within 3 quarters of starting the project, the draft COBie 2.5 specification and example files will be published. Moving those documents through the BSI standards process will follow. It should be noted that an expert panel of COBie certified professionals from Switzerland, Ireland, UK, and US have already been identified for the project. The group will also include technical representatives from implementing software companies. Work Package 2 supports software vendor implementation and testing. For the 33 products already implementing COBie 2.4, there should be little difficulty making this transition. It will, however, require software companies to schedule resources. In some cases, software vendors' planning cycles require 2 or even 3 years. To date, Microsoft, Autodesk, Onuma, and Ecodomus software systems have expressed interest in participation. Work Package 3, which begins shortly after work on the specification, will provide clear and unambiguous messaging about the purpose of COBie. One of the primary methods of communication will be the existing COBie.buildingsmart.org website, refactored to cover both the COBie certification and COBie 2.5 development activities. These communications will reboot owners' understanding of COBie and demonstrate BSI's capacity to rapidly solve pragmatic problems. Owner participation in COBie 2.5 is critical. To date, we have the Norwegian Statsbygg, the US GSA, and the UK's Digital Build Britain members expressing interest in our project. Work Package 4 will assist COBie specifications, implementation, and outreach to move into BSI chapters where English is not the primary language. Key to translations is to have chapters develop their own expertise through the COBie Certified Professional Program. Ensuring there is a common core of knowledge will help ensure that the translations do not stray from the original meaning of the work. There are currently 3 BSI chapters who've expressed interest in the project. We would rely on members of these chapters to support the translation and modification of our outreach activities. Here's the main idea of COBie 2.5 in a single picture. There's a big difference between the expectations for how a standard might be used and its use in practice. We know now only too well that over-complex designs lead to end-user shortcuts. The lesson to be learned by the COBie 2.5 project is to listen to those who have used COBie on real projects. Their message is, keep it simple. While the discussion of specific changes can become technical, the overall message of the COBie 2.5 project is just that. As we say in the US, the goal is to pave the cow path.